Cool.
All bueno.
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 So, hello, and welcome back to Nerd Mythology, people.
We've been gone for a minute.
We have been. It's crazy. Life gets in the way, and then you just start forgetting about that you have a podcast.
Yeah. It's been extremely busy. I mean, I know I've been sitting here and I'm like, oh, God, we got to do a podcast.
I know.
There's so much that's been happening. And, you know, we've been so busy with our primary job that it's nonsense. Things get backed up.
I know, it's crazy.
How we have a whole nother podcast we got to do recordings for.
A whole nother podcast, too. Yeah, like, if you haven't seen that one, it's Cup of Joe with the J's. Go check that one out as well.
Yeah, it's a little more vulgar.
Yeah, it's a little bit more down to earth, if you would. This is more about just nerdy stuff. We like to talk about Star Wars, Marvel, DC,
all that good
and
stuff.
everything in between.
Oh, yeah.
But no, so like to catch up. So there's been a lot going on lately. It's crazy. So what did we miss? So like where did we leave off on the last podcast?
Oh, I think we talked about, was it Apocalypse?
It wasn't Apocalypse. Oh, God of War.
God of War.
We left off on God of War. So like right after God of War, we talked about at the end of that episode about Hogwarts. Right? So we were talking about Hogwarts and how's Hogwarts been?
Oh, I love it, man. It's a great game. It really is. I've basically beat the game already.
Did you?
Oh yeah.
Good God.
Hey, you've been slacking, dude. You've been slacking.
Damn.
I don't want to hear an excuse. You got kids, family, wife.
Man. Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. You're slacking though. Yeah. The only thing I haven't done is my OWLs.
OWLs?
Yeah, it's like a test. It's like I want to say it's like their SATs.
Do you know where I'm at on the game?
Where are you at?
I'm still at, like I just barely figured out how to do Merlin's try.
Oh my
Merlin's
God. Bro, there's like 95 of those things. Or like 80 or 90 or something like that. There's a lot, and I mean a lot.
Golly.
I'm almost done with all of those. I've done just about every side quest. Obviously, I beat the main bad guy.
Okay.
So now I just have to do the House Cup and my OWLs.
Okay.
And pretty much the game's done.
What are OWLs?
It's pretty much a test saying.
Oh, just a test?
Yeah, I don't know how it's like inside the game, but they constantly mention it throughout the game saying, hey, you got to be practicing for your OWLs. And if this is anything like real life, I pretty much cheated my way through those.
I think a lot of us did.
But it's pretty sick because it's a bummer that you're not that far. In fact, you basically haven't played it.
Basically.
Because I was going to get your opinion on something. There's a character that you meet, and he becomes a prolific character within the story because he teaches you certain spells that, in my opinion, are my favorite spells.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he's the one. I can't remember if he teaches you Bombarda. It's like a fire explosive spell, and then he teaches you all three of the Unforgiven spells.
Okay,
so
gotcha.
Your Curcio, your Avada Kedavra, which is the one everyone wants. That's the killing curse.
The one.
Yeah.
That's it. Nobody cares about any other spell.
So you mind spoilers, or you care at all?
Go ahead. Go for it.
All right. So, like I said, he's the one that teaches you it, but every time he does it, it's kind of like he starts to lose his mind. He's getting
really?
deeper into the hate.
Oh, okay.
So the whole story, he's got a sister who was cursed and stuff, and he's got another friend who is pretty much like, don't use these curses or these unforgivable. Every time you do, it's like it takes a bit of you away and stuff. And he's like, no, this is as long as you use these spells for good in a way, pretty much like we need this. And in order to learn the spells, you basically have to be like, nah, bro, you're good. You're doing the right thing.
You're good.
Well, the other friend's like, you need to tell him to stop. You're like, yeah, man, that dude's losing it. You're right. We got to tell him to stop. So
bring him back.
When you go to learn Avada Kedavra, which is the killing curse, you basically have to. He ends up using it, right? He kills someone. I won't spoil who he kills.
All right.
but he kills someone, and your blind friend who's like, I can't believe you just did this, blah 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 blah, and he at the end of it, the mission, he asks you, you saw it, right? I had to do it, and you're like, bro. You had to do it. And you basically have to do this.
You justify killing somebody.
Yeah, in order to learn the spell. In order for him to teach you the spell.
Oh, my God.
So you can go the rest of the story without learning the spells.
Okay.
And now here's the thing, right? He committed murder.
Yeah.
In order to learn the spells, there's going to be a point in time where it's like, are you a snitch? Or are you down with what your buddy just did? Lock those logos for life.
For life.
I've had a cadaver for life. So basically, you get the option and stuff, and it gets pretty crazy because, like, when you're that in depth into the story, like you fall into it, you're like,
right.
Damn, dude, like, what do I do? Do I turn him in? Do I not turn him in? You're honestly conflicted because I sat, and there's if you don't turn him in towards the very end, I guess people have told me you can learn the spells afterwards.
Okay.
But if you want to learn the spells early on, you kind of got to let the dude.
Let him loose.
Yeah, let him loose. And then learn the spells, and pretty much, it makes the game a lot easier.
Okay.
A lot more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but... Yeah, that's basically what's ahead of you, man.
That's basically it, huh? Damn, like I've missed out then. As I just get involved with like so much stuff at home and whatnot that I just miss playing it. And then I've been still trying to platinum God of War, and I'm still fighting through it.
So many games, so little time.
So little time, and I'm like, God, come on, man. How do these guys do it, man? But basically, like right now, I'm on God of War, like trying to fight the last 2 bosses. Not Odin. I mean, Odin is one of your last bosses, but I'm right now trying to fight the King Berserker and the Queen Valkyrie. And dude, my God, man, I'm about to like turn down the difficulty. Like I'm like I got to a point the other day where I was fighting the King Berserker, and dude, I got so close. Like his health, dude. I mean, I'm telling you, like
one more hit,
one more hit, and I was like parrying and I was dodging, and I was like, oh, dude, I got him now. And I still had my revive too, by the way. Still had my revive, and I was like, I got this in the bag.
Got this.
I got confident.
And then you got wrecked.
I was like, no. Dude, like I held my controller so tight. I was shaking. I was like, all right, I think we're done for the day. I think we're done.
I got to tell you, the evolution of games and controllers, specifically controllers, how things have become wireless, right? I remember playing the PS2 when it was still, there was this cord at the end of it.
Oh, yeah.
No matter where you moved it. Was, if you yanked too hard, that console coming with it.
That whole console.
I remember I was playing, it was probably Call of Duty, and I lost my temper.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So usually I would throw the remote, and there's this, like I said, there's a cord. It'll snag it only so far.
Oh, yeah. The whole thing.
When I got a PS3 and everything was wireless, I'm still not used to that cord not being there.
Oh, man.
So I lost my temper, threw my remote, and I noticed it didn't stop.
Good. Oh, yeah. They just kept going
Kept
through.
Going. Mom comes out, what the hell was that?
What are you doing? Oh, no.
And blame my sister. It was Diamond.
I didn't get a wireless controller until, what was it? I had left home, got my first Xbox. What was it, the 360?
360, yeah.
360, Xbox
wireless,
360
yep.
Became wireless. I had that. Well, that was my first wireless controller, basically. I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. But yeah, before that, I get it. I know the struggle. And wherever you had that console stationed at,
yeah,
you could only go so far. I remember, so like the way my setup was, I had like I remember this TV was huge in my eyes, but it was like a 19-inch TV. It was massive, right? This thing was huge. I was like, oh my God. And I had it kind of like up high, like on a shelf system. And then my console was like down here on the floor, right? I was like, all right, cool. I would go back to go sit down on my bed, and the cord wouldn't reach. And I was like, this is rough. This is rough. So I had to like literally just sit there and just
look up.
Dude, like I would get off of there with so much pain on my neck. I'm like, oh,
that's where it started. God. That's why my back hurts to this day.
That's how it that's how it kind of.
I used to have to sit on the floor.
Oh yeah.
Yep, just sit right, because I'm no more than maybe 2 feet from the TV.
Yep.
With that remote in my hands.
Oh yeah.
Good old days.
The good old days. But speaking of good old days, so what else have we missed? Ant-Man. Ant-Man was another one. This guy right here. So what did you think? So by the way, I know we're late to reviewing Ant-Man. We're just gonna talk about it. It's like we've missed out on a lot. So so what did you think?
Honestly, I liked it. It was no Endgame. It was no Infinity War. But we got to see Kang again.
We saw Kang.
And so here's the issue that I know a lot of people are having with it. A lot of people were mad that Kang the Conqueror was defeated by a bunch of
exactly.
Well, it's been.
I think at this point, you're past the spoilers by now.
So Kang the Conqueror was defeated by a bunch of ants.
Right.
I think that's why. And Aries Q talked on this, how when he first meets Scott
Lang,
and he goes, "Which Avenger were you again? Were you the one with the hammer?"
Yeah.
And that's saying that this Kang's gone wrecked through all the Avengers. He's pretty much killed Thor. He's killed all of them.
Because at the beginning of the movie, that we saw that he went through a few universes and wrecked house. So he's gone through basically.
A few Avengers.
A few.
So for a bunch of ants to basically take him out, I know a lot of people were like, "Really? That's it? So there was something. I think I talked to you about this, and it was, I don't know if anyone caught this, but when what's his name? The original Ant-Man.
Oh, Hank Pym.
Hank Pym. Like, my brain's dead. It's
it's
later in the day.
Yeah,
12 hours of work. Brain's gone. But anyway, Hank he says when he stumbled upon the ants again that they had created a level 2 civilization.
Oh yeah,
and I don't think a lot of people understood how important and how what a major development that was.
Right.
For reference, we as a civilization today in the real world are not even a level 1 civilization.
Oh yeah, I remember you did send me the video about this. Yeah.
And it's crazy because I had saw a documentary on this years ago. I can't remember who the author or the main scientist behind this whole discovery that he was talking about levels of civilization, but as a modern civilization of what we are now, we are like on the scale of 0.7, so we're not even a level 1 yet. In order to be like a level 1, I think you're starting to be able to harness the full power of your sun, and then when you become 2, you're pretty much, I think you're able to travel throughout your galaxy, and you're able to harness power from other planets and use your full range of what your sun's capable of doing. Level 3, it can't even fathom it. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. So like if I remember when I saw that video, it was like level 1 was the full power of the sun was your energy source.
Yes.
For the whole planet, mind you.
You can properly use
which
it.
Which is crazy to think right now, right? Because we're working on solar panels, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, cool, solar panels, great, but to power the entire planet.
So you would basically, right now we have a few nuclear facilities out there, right? And those nuclear facilities can power whole countries, cities, and stuff like that. So you would essentially not need those nuclear plants anymore because you'd be able to properly harness the power of the sun.
Exactly. And to think that a bunch of ants,
are level 2.
Level 2.
So for people to get mad and say, I can't believe these ants are the ones that killed Kang.
Yeah.
Trust me, very much possible.
Oh, yeah.
Very easily.
Yep.
To be that far advanced, it's you. In our eyes, as right now, you're gods, pretty much.
Because I think if I remember right, when Hank was talking to the ants after, right before that end battle, Hank was talking to the ants and said, like, what? You guys have been down here for how long?
Yeah.
And he couldn't understand it. Yeah,
time
runs differently
in the quantum realm.
But it was crazy to think because they went down there basically at the same time.
Yep.
But the ants somehow were there way longer.
I don't know if they got deeper into the quantum realm or they obviously they separated.
Yeah.
Went through some other path, but yeah, for people to be mad, I'm like, I don't think you truly understand. If you are listening or watching right now, go on YouTube and look up the different levels of civilization, 1, 2, and 3. And you will understand just how far advanced they were.
Yeah. So here's my thing, right? So these ants, they get so smart, and obviously they went through like a really fast time period down there. I honestly want to know, what did these ants go through while they were in the quantum realm? So like, here's my call out to Disney.
Yeah.
I need a series on these ants. I need to
Make
know
it happen.
Make it happen. I need to know what these ants were doing this whole entire time. They built a whole civilization and everything.
100%. If they decided to do a spin-off, like a limited series of just comics, I'd read them. I 100% read them.
Absolutely. So that was pretty cool. And then the other thing that a lot of people were not very happy about was MODOK.
Yeah, they made him very childish.
Yeah, so I understand that MODOK, and I can't remember the acronym right now. Machine. Oh man. I can't. Oh man, it's something like human machine made for killing.
Yeah, like yeah.
And it's
I'm not going to sit there and say I remember it because I don't.
Sorry, guys. If I remember right, I'll put it up on the.
I can't.
I'll put it up on the screen.
There's so much information in my brain as of right now. To remember everything else, I'm telling you right now that it's fighting.
But
for
basically,
space.
it's just an acronym. But basically, like MODOK in the comics and any other adaptation. I know, like I played the Avengers game on PlayStation.
Yeah.
In that series, MODOK was a genius, right? Like before he became MODOK, it was a scientist, and then he was basically like an experiment, and he was working for AIM. AIM is just another villain organization.
Okay.
Right? And that's how we get MODOK, because he started mutating and kind of like getting weird. And in this adaptation, we see MODOK just because what was it? The yellow jacket.
Yep.
The yellow jacket goes down into the quantum realm and doesn't shrink properly. That's how he kind of deformed and kind of like
his head stayed a little bit
became
larger.
MODOK. And it's like, he wasn't smart at all. Because if he was that smart, if he was the MODOK that everybody knows, then he would have been easily able to wreck house as well.
And
so you had
leave the quantum realm
somehow find a way to leave the quantum realm, but you had two of the most powerful characters. Basically, you had Kang and you had MODOK.
Yeah.
In one movie,
he was the Kang that was banished.
Exactly, the Kang that was banished. So it's like he's wrecking house in other universes, and then you introduce MODOK, which is like basically a machine that just wrecks house as well.
Yeah,
and you just dwindle him down. Like,
a lot of people. They're making it. They Disneyfied it. So that's the new term I'm using, is Disneyfied. A good example, the Hulk.
Yeah, the
Disneyfied the Hulk. They're
Hulk.
Disneyfying all these characters, and just stop, please.
Yeah, just
so
let these characters be the characters that they are, and just let me have that content. Don't don't
it
don't
down.
nerf them so much. Like the Hulk, when he got ran over by that Jeep, I was like, dude, no, there's no.
Lost it.
You can't tell me right now that he fights aliens from outer space. He can go toe to toe with Thor, and you're telling me that a Jeep.
Not just Thor. If at the time, if Thanos didn't have the gauntlet and already the Power Stone,
oh yeah,
he probably could have gave. Don't get me wrong. Like we all know, Thanos is stronger.
Thanos just had like more hand-to-hand combat experience as well.
Combat experience. Plus, he had the Power Stone already.
Oh yeah.
So that was enough to overpower the Hulk.
Oh yeah,
no doubt. But without the gauntlet, without the Power Stone, it wouldn't have been that easy.
Yeah.
Of a defeat for the Hulk.
Absolutely not.
He'd have still won, but it wouldn't have been that easy.
Yeah.
So to go from that still
to a Jeep.
An easy Jeep just running him over. No.
Oh man.
No.
Like, come on, Disney. Like, I get it. Like, cool. You're trying to please a lot of audiences, but I need you to turn up the dial a little bit more. So, speaking of, right, that also brings me to the point of, Daredevil Born Again.
Yep.
And we got confirmation that Frank Castle, the Punisher, is going to show up. It's going to come back.
But you heard what John Bernthal said about if he was going to remain playing the Punisher.
Oh,
right?
yeah. He made it very clear.
Very clear that he will not return unless he can do the character justice, which I love. You have these actors saying, hey, if I'm going to portray this character, I'm not going to abide by your rules of wanting to Disneyfy it.
Exactly.
We're going to play. The Punisher is not a PG character.
No,
he's
not
an
at all.
R-rated,
literally
borderline character. So the fact that he stood his ground and was like, and I think the fact that so many people love him as the Punisher.
Oh yeah,
gave him that extra power for him to stand up against the producers and stuff, saying, hey, this is the only way I'm doing it. And I think they agreed with it.
Yeah, it's kind of like a whole Deadpool situation as well, because Deadpool, when they were still under the Fox contract,
the network didn't want to give him.
No, it was an R-rated movie.
Yeah,
and it was beautiful. It was just absolutely perfect. Yeah,
spot
it's
on.
like, don't take over Deadpool now and then try to make him PG. I know they did the Christmas special for Deadpool.
Yeah,
the Deadpool Christmas Carol, I think. I can't remember what the title of the movie was, but it was like Deadpool 2, but just without all the cussing and all the all the super violent.
You know how much extra
scenes?
work? I'll give you an example. I saw it on cable TV the other day, Deadpool 2, and there were so many scenes that it just had to be bleeped out, cut out, or completely not shown at all. I'm like, that just ruins the movie. It's like, why even show it?
Yeah.
I had to change the channel. I was like, I can't even watch this.
I mean, like, it was still okay, an okay movie, but like the original, the R-rated version of the movie is hands down the best version of the movie.
Because
like,
it's true, it's to its character.
Yeah, I think they only did it just to kind of like show Marvel or show Disney. It's like, hey, we can do a PG version of Deadpool, but this is what you're gonna get.
This is what the audience wants. This is what the fans want.
This is what they want. This is what you're gonna get if you do tone them down. Yeah. So I think Punisher is gonna be on the same exact tone. If you tone him down, try to make him a PG character, and
I love the fact that he's going to be in the Punisher, the new Daredevil, right?
Daredevil,
Daredevil, is it Reborn?
Born again or Reborn? Yeah,
something like that. So that tells me that we are not going to get that goofy looking or feeling Daredevil that we got in She-Hulk.
That was another one too.
Get rid of that. I don't want to see that ever again. Ever again. Give me the Daredevil that that started it all.
Netflix. Netflix Daredevil. Yeah.
When I saw that, I was like, that hands down, the first 2 seasons, probably some of my favorite shows and seasons of for all the Marvel that I've seen.
Dude, the Daredevil series was one of my favorites.
Oh yeah.
Hands down. Like, I don't care what anybody has to say about it. No, it was one of the best, one of my favorite series. Yeah, it was beautiful.
And then and then when when we heard rumors that it was going to be that Daredevil was going to make an appearance in She-Hulk, I was like, all right, cool.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I get it. She-Hulk is a certain type of way.
Yeah.
I get that she, in my opinion, she played that character, the show, as accurate as possible.
Absolutely, yeah.
So there's no fault on that. I'm not hating on She-Hulk. I'm hating on the other characters they brought into She-Hulk and Disneyfied.
Yep, absolutely.
Terrible.
Which is, no, like, keep it true to the comics, keep it true to the character itself. I think that's more important than anything.
Absolutely.
Like, make the character justice. Do that character justice. Don't just try to, like, appeal to the masses. Make sure that that character is doing what that character is supposed to do. Because Daredevil is, he's a good guy, but at the same time, he's not borderline like the Punisher. He's just more like, I need to bring people to justice.
Yes. He has a cleaner moral code.
Exactly.
Punisher has a moral code. It's just he's okay with pushing the boundaries of what needs to be done.
Exactly.
Like he said, the quote in season 2 of Daredevil, you hit them, they get back up. I hit them and they stay down.
They stay down.
That's what I'm talking about. Bring that back.
Give me that Punisher. But I know, like, in She-Hulk, that Daredevil in She-Hulk, it was not.
I'm doing wrong. Seeing the suit, the yellow suit.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Oh, yeah.
But it was kind of like, you gave me this only to bring it back down because of how you portrayed the character, and I didn't like it.
Exactly. I didn't like it at all. So I know there's, like, a lot of rumors of, like, Marvel shows that are coming out now and characters that are going to be coming back. There's a whole lot of rumors on that, but I heard something that there might be canceling some series or something like that.
If you go on Disney Plus right now, you will see that Loki 2 and I forgot what other show. It used to have a date of when it was coming out.
Right.
Now it says just coming soon.
Oh, it's delayed? My God. Come on.
So that infamous ending scene on Ant-Man, Quantumania, when you saw Kang and pretty much opening for season 2
basically,
of Loki.
Literally.
That's going to have to wait. That's an article I read yesterday. I only skimmed through it. That is what I saw that they're putting on hold for right now, which is going to make me mad because of all the shows that were Disneyfied.
Yeah.
Loki was probably my favorite.
Yeah, Loki was one of the better
shows. It actually
shows.
made me like Loki so much more.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think Loki, a lot of people last year were like, okay, so what's your, top shows of Disney, of Marvel shows? And I said Loki's still my number one.
Number one, easily.
Loki's still my number one so far.
Because it didn't feel so kiddie.
No.
Like, I didn't feel... I get it. You have... these comics were made for kids, but, they were made so far back then, adults. These kids have become adults.
Basically, yeah.
Please... I can't talk right now. Please those loyal fans that read the comics and want to see that adaptation.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
So when you made, WandaVision was good, but it still felt a little kiddie.
Yeah.
She-Hulk came out, it felt real kiddie. Like, I still can't bring myself to watch Miss Marvel. I can't do it.
I mean, if you're gonna watch, you're gonna have to, like, swallow the pride and watch Miss Marvel if you want to watch The Marvels when that one comes out, because there's a post-credit scene on Miss Marvel that just leads right into
I've heard about it.
The
I haven't
Marvels.
seen it, but I've heard about it.
So it's like, man, and it's honestly, like, for her being in that show, she's actually, like, a really good character. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I don't want to get into, like, cultural like stuff, because of, like, what the character is.
Yeah.
I just know that they did a really good character for a superhero, like, for her.
Yeah.
If you see behind you, I have, like, a whole little...
I see that, yeah.
I have, like, a whole little shrine of Miss Marvel. It's like, it's just a really cool character, and, like, her values and how she kind of, like, goes about fighting crime, and she's also trying to, like, figure out her her social life, kind of like it reminds me of like a Spider-Man. When we got like the first Spider-Man, like our Spider-Man,
Tobey Maguire?
exactly.
Yeah.
He was just another kid, just trying to like figure out his life. Like, oh my god, like balancing school, fighting crime, and
which
just
is what
social
Stanley
life. Yeah,
wanted
exactly.
For it, you know.
So I feel like that character is kind of like along those same lines of a.
I dig that. I am definitely on the lines of I can respect that, but as of right now, I've seen enough of that. You know, of these characters. You know, their origin stories. Some of them, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with a good origin story.
Oh yeah.
But right now, I'm now so involved and invested in a lot of these characters. I want to see the darker side. Give me them prolific issues to where I'm like, oh, this is gonna get dark.
Oh yeah.
And where I'm going with this one is where I can count it on is DC. DC likes to go dark. Thank you, DC. That is the one thing. Your movies may not be. You may have issues right now going on with how you're making these movies and stuff.
There, yeah,
stop hiring people who are future convicts. James Gunn's over there right now, so I know a lot of things are going to change, hopefully for the better. Knock on some wood. But did you remember that article I sent you? That there was a rumor the Snyderverse may still continue with Netflix.
Oh, I did. Yeah, I did.
I don't know how true that is.
I don't know, but
sign me up. I have a Netflix account right now. There was a moment I was going to cancel it because Netflix is doing the whole thing where if you're not connected to your Wi-Fi,
oh yeah, like password sharing and stuff like that. Yeah,
days, whatever, it's gonna go away.
They actually canceled that.
Did they?
So like a lot of people, when that news came out,
straight outrage.
They said, okay, I'll make it easier for you. I'll just cancel now. And basically they saw like the amount of people that cancel, and they're like, just kidding. We're not doing that. Like, just kidding.
April Fool's, not April. So I already have it. That's good to hear. I'm glad that you told me that.
Yeah.
But 100%, I will be keeping my Netflix primarily in hopes that there is a Snyderverse. Give me my Henry Cavill back as Superman. I'm even cool with Ben Affleck being as Batman. Because as much as people hate on him, when his fight scenes came up, that was gnarly. Yeah. That was brutal. He's not my favorite Batman. As of right now, Patterson is.
Okay.
The new.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
I think he did such a great job in the Batman.
Okay.
I was a doubter at first. Same thing with Heath Ledger. When I heard Heath Ledger was going to be the Joker, I was like, really? The dude from Brokeback Mountain? 10 things I hate about you? That guy? Really? And I was wrong. The world was wrong, right?
No, he did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, so when you tell me, when I first saw that the Twilight guy was going to be the Batman, I was like, oh my God, for real?
Come on.
And then sure as hell, I was proven wrong again, thankfully. I will admit it. All my doubt and skepticism went out the window immediately.
Yeah.
That opening scene when he beat that Joker follower to the ground.
Yeah.
100%. I was like, I'm invested.
Oh yeah. I gotta say, man, he's still like not my favorite. He did do a good job. I will give him that. He did do a good job. And this kind of like, now I'm like just nitpicking at this point, but I know somebody actually brought this up. It's like, well, he's a good Batman, but not a good Bruce Wayne. And I had to.
I think I might have told you that.
Yeah, like I had to agree with that, and I was like, I think I'm right there also. Like he was just way too scrawny for a Bruce Wayne. Like I know, like the padding on
I will agree.
on the suit and everything like that, it was like perfect. But just like when you saw him out of the suit, and he had like this. Like he was going through like that high school emo phase again.
But so here's the thing, right? And a lot of people say, they're like, "Oh, Christian Bale. Christian Bale's the best Batman. He was a great Batman."
Oh yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but in my opinion, he was the better Bruce Wayne, and Peterson was the better Batman.
Yeah.
And in fact, I hope I'm saying his last name right.
Who?
Is it Peterson?
Patterson.
Patterson. My apologies. 12-8. I just got off 12-hour shift. Please forgive me. So, Patterson, hands down, was a better Batman.
Okay.
I agree. He wasn't as bulky as, the iconic Batman that you've seen in the comics or the TV show. But I know Patterson said he has a lot of issues with gaining that much mass. He just has that body to where he couldn't gain it. Same thing with what is his name? Grant Gustin.
Grant Gustin, the Flash,
Gustin, the
from
Flash,
the CW. Yeah.
CW.
Yep.
He, for the longest time, said he had trouble. Like, a lot of people were like, "Oh, he's anorexic. Why?" But naturally he just can't build. He's got a fast metabolism. Which, by the way, I would trade you in a heartbeat.
Right, buddy. Consider yourself blessed.
Yeah. So he was able to put on a little bit more weight and muscle.
Yeah.
Towards the final season that just got done.
Mm-hmm.
And
I still haven't seen that season yet. I gotta.
Yeah, I got.
I think I
haven't either.
Behind like a few seasons actually. Yeah.
Because I used to watch on Netflix and then I'd wait for the next season, and Netflix usually takes forever to upload a whole new season.
Oh yeah.
And by then they're 2 seasons out ahead of you.
Oh yeah.
But he just has the issue of building on mass. It's not that he didn't want to. I'm sure he wanted to give you that yoked Batman. But
absolutely.
all in all, I'm very pleased with the way he portrayed.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then I don't know how you felt about it, but all of those CW shows, I don't know how many of them did you watch.
The Arrow and Flash.
Arrow and the Flash.
I couldn't watch. What was it? The Guardians. I can't remember.
Oh man, the League of Tomorrow, League of.
I think that's what it was. It was that, and I couldn't watch Batgirl, and I couldn't watch Supergirl.
Batgirl, I heard of a lot of negative things about Batgirl. So I haven't even seen a single episode of Batgirl. And then, so here's why I say why I bring this up is because I was fully invested. Mm-hmm. I was watching The Arrow. The Arrow was a great show.
It was
in the beginning. In the beginning, it was a super good show. Once you get to like season 4 or 5, you're getting really repetitive now. You're fighting a lot of the same bad guys, and it's like, I get it. You might not be able to like use more bad guys from like the whole DC lore, like the whole DC comics, right? But I need a new story, man, or just like give it a pause, give it a break.
I was screaming at the TV, "Get off the island already! Show me how you get off that island." I get it. You were there for a long time.
Oh my God, the island, dude! Like it just made me so mad. And so that was the Arrow. The Flash, I think, was kind of like what brought my hope back.
Yeah,
because I really like Grant Gustin as the Flash,
absolutely.
And he was by far like. Ezra Miller's nothing against.
I'll say
it. Like
Ezra Miller, you suck.
like so far it's like I never thought I would say like a TV show character would be better than
the big
a movie character.
$100 million movie, yeah.
And I'm like, no, dude, like Grant Gustin's way better than than what the hell's his name again?
Ezra Miller.
Yeah. And I'm like, dude, come on. But that kind of brought me hope back. And then I saw Supergirl. Supergirl was kind of like okay, I got like a little bit of an in-between here.
And I like Supergirl. I like the character.
I did, but Supergirl, I hate that she's a really powerful character. Right there like right there with Superman, right? They come from the same place, right?
Peg under Superman.
I mean, come on. Like, really. But they always have to nerf these characters. Always.
Yep.
And it's like... come on, man. Like, and I get the whole like, well, I have a moral code, and like I don't want to kill anybody, and like I don't want to like hurt anybody.
They're always holding back.
But they're always holding these characters back.
Yep.
Give me a bad guy, then they could just let loose on.
Yeah.
Like, did you see that? There's a show. Oh man, might be newer, it might be older. I'm not sure which one it is, but there's a version of a show. It's like an anime.
I bet I can guess it.
And
just from what you're giving me, right?
And then Superman versus Darkseid.
And he goes, my whole life, I'm surrounded by like pretty much everyone's made out of like toothpicks or like breadcrumbs. Like,
exactly.
I'm always holding back.
Oh my God.
He goes, but you can take it,
yeah.
can't you, big guy? And then he just starts wailing on him.
Dude, I got so pumped, so excited when I saw that. I was like, yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
About time.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of stuff, that's what I want to see from Superman, Supergirl. I mean, come on, like these are really OP characters. Give me an OP bad guy.
Yeah.
Give me somebody that's gonna be
gonna
right
match.
there, toe to toe with them.
Toe to toe.
Because it just does them no justice, basically.
I want to see the superhero get beat up, tossed around a little bit.
Oh man,
and struggle.
Exactly.
But come back on top.
Exactly.
Unless it's certain villains. I have a soft spot for certain villains. I'm like, yeah, I'm okay with the hero dying.
Harley Quinn, we don't want to see you die.
No, I love Harley Quinn.
But no, like, so going back to it a little bit. So then you had Supergirl, right? And then you had this Legends of Tomorrow. That's what the show is. Legends of Tomorrow.
Because they would always travel through time, right? Yep,
exactly. So they would travel through times, and they had some good characters on that show.
Yeah.
White Canary, Hawk Girl.
Was it Adam? What's his name? He was in the Arrow. Because Felicity, doesn't she date him? And then he leaves.
Yes,
it's the guy. It's the actor who played Superman in Superman Returns.
Yeah, exactly. Him. Yeah, I think it was the Atom. Yeah, well, hold on, because we just saw the Atom in
Shazam.
Not Shazam.
Was it not Black Adam?
Black Adam.
Yeah.
We just saw the Atom in Black Adam. So, oh man, what was his name? He was shrinking down. I think it is the Atom.
I could swear it's the Atom. I'm probably wrong though.
We're gonna have to. I'll have to
check
look that one up. Yeah. But yeah, that was another cool character, and then Kid Flash as well. So you had Kid Flash on the team.
Kid Flash?
Kid Flash was and that was a cool team up. But what kind of made me mad is, again, this was DC. But they Disneyfied it as well.
Disneyfied it.
And like now I'm having like a soap opera almost.
Yes.
Right? You have these characters like conflicted with emotions and like what is going on right now, dude? Like let's talk about our feelings right now.
There was too much of the, like you said, soap opera kind of feeling to it, and that's why I couldn't get into it. And that's kind of how I feel the Arrow kind of got towards the end too, and I was like, I can't.
Way too much, and like now Arrow's a really badass character.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Mind you.
Oh yeah,
badass, and then all of a sudden he's just talking about his feelings, like, oh my sister, oh no, like I hated that chick. I hated her so much, and when she was out there fighting crime with him and stuff like that, and she's like, but Ollie. I'm like, shut up. And oh man, like she just made me so mad. But all the time he's trying to tell her like, you're messing this up, quit screwing up, and all of a sudden, you hurt my feelings, Ollie.
Oh, shut up. You failed this city.
You have failed this city. But man, like it just, dude, like, and like I said, the Arrow's such a badass character, but they just made him too soft again in that series. And then just kind of like after that, the series that came after, Superman and Lois, Batwoman, and I think there's a Stargirl. There's a series for Stargirl, and I haven't even seen a single episode of it either. And I'm like,
nope.
I can't do it. Like
there's a lot of shows, a lot of episodes, a lot of movies. I work a full-time job.
Yep.
There's only so much I could do. Yeah,
and then like
the problem too was a lot of these shows would have interchangeable episodes to where you would have like a special, right? Or a Crisis on Earth or Infinite Earth.
Man, yeah.
And it would be like to see what happens or what continues.
Tune into
the Arrow, and then the Arrow would turn into like tune into Legends of Tomorrow, and then Supergirl was like, I give up. I can't do this.
That was another one that used to like made me so mad too, and it's like those Crisis on Infinite Earths and Crisis on Earth X or whatever, like those are really cool storylines.
Yeah.
But the fact that they couldn't just do like, give me a movie.
I think they did it to try to also be like, well, let's see if we can bump the ratings on these other shows, and I'm sure it did, but for just that episode.
But just for that episode,
because that's all I did was I looked up on for those specific episodes and watched it. Other than that, I didn't care about the rest of it.
Literally.
And that's the reason why I did it too, was specifically because the Flash is probably one of my favorite characters.
Oh yeah.
So, and that's across all of it. That's not just DC. That's Marvel too. Like I love the Flash. So that brings me to the new Flash movie coming out too.
The new Flash movie coming out.
There's a lot of hype around this, right? Like
a lot.
So much hype that it cannot fail because it's gonna be bad. So everyone, did you hear that Tom Cruise hit up the?
He saw the movie. He saw the
premiere.
The movie
already. He's like, hey, let me check out that movie.
Yeah.
And then he said, he goes, oh, it's a great movie. This is what the movies need nowadays. So that's a big statement.
That's a big statement. But here's my thing. Like, I can't take these actors seriously, right? So who's to say that you didn't just hire Tom Cruise and like, hey, come watch this movie real quick and give us a few good words?
Because Tom Cruise is one of those actors that's like, you can't predict that guy. He's weird.
I mean,
he's an odd.
He is weird. He does his own stunts too, which is kind of.
No, like, I'm all for that.
Dude, like, all right,
I'm
cool.
all for
like,
that. I know there's a lot of people that don't like Tom Cruise. I love Tom Cruise's movies. I absolutely.
I like him. I enjoy him.
In fact, my favorite movie of him is Tropic Thunder.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I want to dance and I want big hands.
Scorched earth. Yeah, I'll let you guys finish the rest of that quote.
So there's a lot of people also mad, or we have a few friends at work that grew up reading the comics and watching these movies that I wasn't even around for when they came out. I don't know. I might have been born. I might be old enough when the first Batman came out. Michael Keaton. I think that came out like early 90s. I was born in 1990.
Oh, dude.
So
yeah,
I might have borderline. I might have been a wee baby.
You might have barely missed it, but yeah.
But nonetheless, I grew up watching Michael Keaton as Batman. So
yeah, he is.
He is in my eyes,
Batman. Yeah,
Batman. Like Aries Q also said, he goes in a lot of people's eyes, that is the Batman.
Yeah. So he might not have been like the best Batman, but he is the Batman. Yeah. Like, so
when I saw that he was going to be in the new Flash movie,
oh yeah,
and the scene they showed, I was like, oh, they made the old Batman, the fight scenes, or them.
Yep.
You punch pass, it's all pow. They didn't say pow, but it was really, you could tell. I was like, oh, that's not a real punch.
I know.
That scene where he swoops down, takes those guys out, I was like,
that is.
Oh,
that was his iconic.
Yeah.
That was his signature right there.
Like, that's sick. But I wonder how uncomfortable, because I remember him saying the old bat suits were terrible because the headpiece is one.
Yep.
So
I remember that.
If you ever go back and watch the old Batman with Michael Keaton,
this dude couldn't turn his head. Yeah.
He turned his whole body. What was that? Whole body turns like, oh, Commissioner Gordon, I didn't see
who goes there. Yeah, dude. And that's what made it so much better, is that like you had this dude, and it couldn't just be like a simple reaction, just like turning his head. Who goes there? Like what's going on? It's like, what? And just like his whole body language would just speak volumes when he did that.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, oh yeah, that here we go. Some action's gonna go down.
And it looks like the same decal though, like for the headpiece still.
Yeah.
It looks the same.
It looks the same.
And if I was Michael Keaton, I'd be like, hey, I'm coming back, but if I'm doing this, you're changing that headpiece.
I mean, I'm sure they came up with something. I'm sure that plastic's a little bit more malleable now. Like he could probably turn his head now.
Yeah,
I mean, come on, we're in
bendable.
2023. Like there's got to be a way. But yes, and I'm excited to see the Flash movie. I know Gal Gadot's gonna be in it too. Ooh.
Wonder Woman.
There was a lot of speculation that a lot of people said like, no, she got nerfed. She got like next, right? Like, and no, she's in the latest trailer of wait, no, I'm thinking of Shazam actually. It's not
Oh, so she's not in.
Wait.
What is she in?
Hold on.
Because I'm not.
Who am I thinking? She's in Shazam. Sorry.
Is she in Shazam?
She's going to be in Shazam.
Okay.
Fury of the Gods. And yeah, because she was in that trailer. Sorry. So I'm thinking of Supergirl. Supergirl's going to be in the Flash movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to have a version of Supergirl.
I was going to say, because I don't remember seeing Wonder Woman make an appearance in Shazam.
So she is going to be in that Shazam movie.
Okay.
And because they plastered her all over the trailers now. Like the latest trailer has shows her boots and she's walking in.
I haven't been watching any of them because yet again, these trailers just give me so much information.
Man, these trailers lately, they've been giving a lot
Stop telling me the whole movie.
Like, yeah, in the trailer. Come on, like let me go watch it. But no, like she's going to be in Shazam Fury of the Gods, and that makes me wonder, like, because they were doing a lot of cuts, right? Like they cut Henry Cavill, and it's like,
they did.
Listen, buddy, you just did a big no.
Yeah, oh yeah,
a huge no. And for you to like make a bold statement, like it'll be okay.
Yeah,
it better be. Because
well, did you see that James Gunn did a post on his Instagram about Superman?
Yeah, he's gonna be directing it, and I guess he didn't want to for so long. He didn't want to direct or write a new script for a Superman movie or a Superman show or anything like that.
Big shoes to fill.
Because he felt that, yeah, exactly. He felt that he didn't have like that connection to that character, and he didn't know how to make that character justice.
Yeah.
And then now all of a sudden, I can make it justice. Like what?
I mean, right. I'm open to it. I'll definitely watch it. But I'm going to go into it with a little bit of a skepticism. I
think a lot of people are. If any of these movies come out, like any of the movies that he's directed, Guardians of the Galaxy and the Suicide Squad, those are all great movies.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And if they all come out to be like anywhere near that, then I know it'll be okay. But if
we do need. Obviously, we might have certain characters or new people, because the biggest question is, who did they get to play the new Superman? Who's going to
be the new Superman?
Those whitey tighty, those blue tights. Who's filling them in, right? So
the blue tights.
It's man.
And honestly, like, listen, Henry Cavill was it. That was he was Superman. You just said no Henry Cavill, so I don't even know who would be a good Superman. So I really hope that they can bring somebody good, and somebody that's going to do that character justice.
I hope so. I really do.
Because so I told you that Superman and Lois, that's a CW show. Yeah. That Superman right there,
not cutting
it. And again, it's just more like too much emotion, too much like. He's too emotional, and I know he's like weak when it comes to like Lois. Like when Lois is around, he's just very like fragile, very vulnerable, and stuff like that. And I get that, but like Superman also has a clear head. He's like, hey, if we need to get down to business, we're getting down to business, right? No, none of this fog of like, well, I don't want to hurt people.
Hurt someone. Yeah.
So. I really do hope that they make that character justice, but I know in other shows, right? Moving over to HBO, we had The Last of Us as well.
We did.
So, what'd you think?
So I'm gonna be the first to say I have not played the game.
I haven't either.
Wasn't it primarily?
It was a video game on PlayStation. Yeah,
PlayStation.
A PlayStation exclusive.
I don't have a PlayStation.
So
that was the issue. I know a lot of people say it's a really great game, but so I did watch the show. I love the show.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are like that. They look nothing like the characters and stuff.
But what do you expect, honestly? Like,
yeah, but they did. It's not like they just threw them completely aside. They did throw some homage to the game. In fact, so spoilers if you haven't seen the show yet.
Yeah.
There was an episode, and it was. I want to say it was because didn't the finale just air?
Yeah, it was. I think it was the finale.
Which bummed me out because I didn't know that was the finale. I was looking forward to because today's Monday.
Yeah,
and I was like, yeah, Last of Us. And then
it was like,
Jared told me, he goes, "What are you talking about? That was the finale." And that was one of them temper tantrums in the car.
Yeah,
but
that was it.
The scene where they show Allie being born.
Yeah,
that the woman that gave birth. That was the voice actor.
Oh yeah,
of Allie in the game.
That was actually really cool.
And it was crazy because when I saw the face, I was like, "Did they jump timelines?" Because that's in the first few seconds you see her. I was like, "They jumped timelines. Allie's older and pregnant now."
Yep.
I was like, "Oh damn, that's Allie's mom." And then to find out that was actually Allie from the video game.
Yeah, from the video game.
That's freaking awesome.
I know. So like. It was crazy how similar they are, like just in appearance.
Yeah.
Because my wife said the same thing. It's like they look exactly the same.
Oh yeah, she could probably pull off in the real world as her biological mother.
Oh yeah, and I'm like
never have guessed it was.
I would have never known, and I was like, really? Like they're not related? Like, are you sure? Like, are you serious? Oh, all right.
The fact that they're not related, and the fact that she's the real voice character actor.
I thought that was a really,
that's. That's
oh yeah,
nice one.
They hit it straight on the head. Pedro Pascal, another great heavy hitter.
At this point, dude, anything that dude touches, I'm like, I'm watching it, all for it.
Whatever that dude puts his hands on, I'm all for it. He really did a good job in The Last of Us.
That guy
really good job.
Is on a roll because not just you have The Last of Us, which just finished airing. And you have season 4 coming out this Wednesday. Or, sorry, it's not season 4, episode 4 of The Mandalorian.
Hold on. Let's finish this segment of The Last of Us because I got a lot. I got a lot of that. But no, serious. So he did a good job. A lot of people said that the clickers, the clickers in the show, they were like pretty cool. But what kind of like disappointed me a little bit of the show, there wasn't that many infected is what they called them, or zombies basically, or whatever. Like there wasn't that many. Like you had like 2 big episodes really where you see like a lot of infected.
Early on too, it was like episode 2 or 3.
Yeah, like episode 2 and I think episode 4 when they were taking the little kid. Right? Yeah. When they were taking them through the city and like they were trying to get out and then like the horde of them.
The horde. Yeah, that was freaking awesome.
That was pretty dope. And then we get to see like the big kind of like berserker infected.
A tank looking dude.
And then all of a sudden like you're not going to give me more of that?
Yeah.
Like are you kidding me? That was like one of the most badass zombies. Yeah,
100%.
Scenes. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, that's it? Really? That's it?
I'll agree on that statement. With that also being said, I'm still heavily invested in the show. I thought it was a great show, even without seeing the clickers and the infected.
Yeah.
I still think it was a great show. What I don't want them to do, though, is go down the same road that Walking Dead went down.
Oh,
so
man.
I was in love with the show The Walking Dead when it first came out. I saw it when it first on the first day it aired, TV, watched it, and I was like, "Oh damn! This is what they just put this on cable TV."
Oh yeah.
And then it got to you had so many. It turned into a soap opera. I don't care about that,
man.
So then on top of that, they had mini seasons. Every season was like a mini season. They showed like 4 episodes. Bam, mid-season finale. I don't. Quit doing the mid-season finale.
Yeah, like seriously, mid-season. Give me the whole season, man. Like, but they were just dragging that thing out. They knew that a lot of people were into it. Like, dude, they have a Walking Dead podcast, like an official podcast. They had like that show,
they had an after episode show.
Literally,
all they did was discuss it, and I watched it.
And
I used to watch it.
So like a lot of people were very, very into The Walking Dead.
Oh yeah.
So dude, they were just cashing in on that cow. They were just cashing in on it, and that's what kind of made me mad about it. I didn't watch The Walking Dead when it first came out. I basically watched it after all the hype.
Okay.
And it was kind of like I did the same thing with Game of Thrones, because a lot of people like end up hyping up a show way too much, and it's like
it's never that.
And it's just never like that good, right? And it's like I'll watch it after the whole hype kind of like comes down,
dies down,
and whatnot, and it's like okay. I was surprised with Game of Thrones for sure. Game of Thrones was like, wow, that was great.
Because one kept, constantly like, you need to watch this.
I loved watching it on my own though, like just watching it, just kind of like binging it.
Oh yeah,
and that was the best.
There's no better feeling than finding a show you really like and then just binging it, right?
Just binging it. It's amazing.
It's like another drug. It's like a whole drug on itself.
Yeah.
The show that I found myself binging was Sandman.
Oh yeah,
I
still haven't seen that one yet.
Love that. So let's get down to something. I got a bone to pick with you because there's something else you haven't seen, and it's driving me crazy. Hands down, in order for you to continue doing this podcast, you need to watch this movie because.
God.
Have you seen The Watchmen? Oh my God. Yeah.
I need to.
I remember going in the movies to see that movie, right? The Watchmen. And I'm not going to lie, younger me did not like it. I couldn't understand it. As I got older, I rewatched it and I was like, why did I hate this?
Yeah.
This is such a great... you want to talk about a great storyline?
Yeah.
Amazing. The plot twists in that movie are insane. And you want to talk about a character that could mop the floor with Superman. This guy would decimate Superman like he was nothing.
Oh.
Dr. Manhattan.
Oh man.
Is a god of gods. You need to watch that.
I need to. I'm gonna make it a point. I'm gonna make it a point to watch that movie. Like when, so I'll be working tomorrow. Actually, Wednesday I'll go over there and watch that movie.
Yeah, telling you that is an amazing movie. In fact, HBO made a spin-off show of it.
Did they?
They did.
Oh, they did.
Yep.
I do remember that actually.
It was good. I watched it.
Okay.
I watched the whole thing. Not the same actor. He still did good. I prefer the movie actor to it, but maybe because I'm so in love with the movie, that I was having a hard time being like, oh, okay, yeah. But
I get what you're saying.
Nonetheless, everyone who played on that show still did a great job.
Yeah.
But that movie,
people
say that it's probably one of the best comic series ever.
Oh yeah.
So you got to watch it.
Okay,
man.
I'll buckle down.
Watch it.
I'll buckle down. But going back to The Last of Us, great show, great actors, great plot to the series. I can't wait for season 2. Season 2 is basically confirmed at this point. They're gonna do it. How soon are they gonna do it? I'm not 100% sure.
It'll probably be a year out.
Because it was like HBO is doing this thing where it's like they come out with good shows, right? So like right now we have the House of the Dragon also.
House of the Dragon.
And that was another one. It's like they created the first season, but it's like they didn't plan for season 2. Like they knew that they were going to do a season 2, but they didn't like plan ahead for it.
I think it's based off of viewers, right? You get enough audience, your ratings, if they're good enough, then pretty much the network says, hey,
right,
all right, there's an audience there that wants to see it.
My thing is like, if you did basically really good on Game of Thrones, just the original series of Game of Thrones,
stupid good
up until the end. We won't talk about the end.
Because even now, to this day, can you name, the argument always is, what was the greatest show out there? What is the greatest show? And it's so hard. I can't, when it comes down to it, you're like, damn it. It's probably Game of Thrones.
Game of
like,
Thrones.
what else out there had you that in depth? Like, oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I can't think of it. Breaking Bad's a great show.
Listen.
But even then, I still was more invested in Game of Thrones.
Listen, with Game of Thrones, like at the end of it, I was like, you know what? Go for it, dude. Go out with your sister. I'm fine with it now.
It ain't that bad.
It ain't that bad, dude. Like, it's fine.
7
Whatever.
seasons in, yeah. Did you just get like immune to incest?
I guess, you know. Like, you know what, buddy? Go for it. Go
4
for
seasons
it.
in, you're like, that's still wrong.
Yeah.
5 seasons, you might want to slow down.
You might want to slow down, buddy.
6 seasons, whatever. 7 seasons, you know, they love each other.
They love each other.
Love is love.
That's basically kind of how it went down. I was basically like, in the beginning, I was like, oh no. And then all of a sudden, like, you know what? You go, buddy.
I jumped in late, right? And you know, the scene pops up, and I was like, all right, oh yeah, the chick from 300. I was like, yeah, she's pretty hot. And then cousin Juan goes, that's his sister. Huh?
What?
Come again?
Yep. I was like, buddy.
Yep.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Like, I kind of like found out after the fact, and I was like, the
things he'll do for love.
But you know, like that kind of like got me into like a rabbit hole of like trying to think, you know, looking up stuff, you know, like from those times, and this was actually a common thing.
That was very common.
And I was like,
especially
really?
in royal families.
Oh my God.
Very
because
common.
they wanted to keep
pure
the
bloodline.
Pure bloodline and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, really?
Yeah. Today's standards. That can't fly.
Today is like, yeah, that ain't flying today. But I'm like, that it just surprised me because I didn't know it up until then.
Yeah.
That was so common back then. And I was like, damn. Oh, okay. All right. Well, I guess I learned something new. Shoot. But man, like, but basically going back on track, basically like the same thing, like season 2, it's gonna come out for House of the Dragon.
Yep.
And, we're gonna get a season 2 for The Last of Us. And there's also rumors about a actual God of War series on HBO.
I've been hearing about this.
And I'm like, bro, listen, like, but see, this brings me to that same point that you were saying right now. They're trying to gauge the audience.
Yeah.
There's no audience to gauge. It's there. The audience is there.
Now, this is one of those, do not screw this up.
Buddy,
you have to have, the hardest part of this is going to be finding that actor that could portray
finding Kratos.
That should
God.
That could be a whole documentary in itself. Finding Kratos. There's some guy out there that doesn't even know it, but he fits the perfect build. Everything.
The build, yeah.
Look. Now hopefully he doesn't have like a baby voice. Something you got to have that iconic.
You have to have that voice, and man, like I got so excited, I got giddy whenever they said, like, they announced, like, oh yeah, I got a War series, and I was like, whoa, what?
The second problem is you have to tell the story right. Don't screw this up. I like that you said series instead of a movie. A movie does not, unless you were going to be
it doesn't do
like
it justice.
the Lord of the Rings or Hobbit trilogy, unless you're doing like 6 movies out, right? There's so much information you have to fit in this that it needs to be a show. Because there are going to be hours of information and storytelling you need to put. So you need to go from the beginning. You can't jump into Norse mythology. You have to start from Greek mythology on how he became a god in the first place.
Yep. So, well, this is where like my sources were kind of like, oh, okay, well, we'll see how this ends up happening, because the rumor was that they were going to start on the previous God of War game where they started in Norse mythology.
I don't like that.
And they were kind of like talking about it. They were going to start right there. Basically, Kratos has a family and stuff like that, and then kind of like do like a prequel, basically, where they were going to say like, okay, now we're going to talk about Kratos' past, because their argument is that because they don't know where the audience is, they want to hook them from the get-go, and like the games that hooked people lately were these last 2 games.
But those are all your new 10-year-olds.
Hey,
I don't care about what they want.
well, them 10-year-olds shouldn't be playing God of War.
To me, I hate when they do that, man. Don't do that. You need to, because to me, like when you get to Odin and stuff, after he goes through all the Greek gods,
Yeah.
when you get to Odin and Norse mythology, I'll be pumped. I'll be hella pumped.
I'm all for it, yeah.
So to me,
But like, I want to see the whole story.
Yeah, you don't need
for
to rush
sure.
that. Send it back to the beginning, where he's a Spartan in a war and he's about to die and he's begging the god of war, Ares, help me vanquish my foes.
Yep.
And from there, you have an amazing story of how he kills his family.
Oh, absolutely.
And then kills the gods.
Yep. And another idea that was kind of floating around, you know how on The Last of Us, instead of like doing like a linear story, they took an episode and they would do like a flashback on something that happened previously, and then they would run that whole episode that way.
Yeah.
That was like another idea as well. So like they start in Norse mythology and then they take an episode to kind of like explain how we got here, do a backstory, move on linear again, another episode, go back, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about those kind of episodes.
It's too much information.
It's too much information, yeah. And I'd rather, like, if you're gonna give me that information, do a prequel or do a like start it out from that point,
the beginning.
But again, it just goes on the argument of like, hey, they're just trying to like hook. They're trying to get that hook in and like bring people in, and like
that's how you ruin a show. That is 101 on ruining a show. That's like you going to watch John Wick 4 and not knowing 1, 2, and 3. You have no idea how we got there.
Right, exactly.
So without that beginning, it's pointless to me. You're the whole point of it, of the journey, is you built up that story and all these achievements he's accomplished, and so you appreciate it so much more.
Oh yeah,
down the line.
Absolutely.
You're like, whoa, why is this dude in a suit killing everyone? Oh, you didn't know they killed his dog and stole his car? That'd have been some important information.
You should have known this.
Maybe they should have put that first.
You should have known this, buddy. Yeah, you should have seen that first. But man, either way, I'll be pumped for sure. I love the series. I love the games. I've played them. I can't wait to see more of it. And then moving on, talking about old Pedro Pascal again.
Oh, yeah. Let's end it on a good note.
The Mandalorian Season 3. My God. I've never been so excited in my damn life. What are your thoughts so far?
I am hooked even more than before. Like it's just, it gets better and better. And I think that's because of John, and I don't want to butcher his last name. I'm terrible at pronouncing names as it is. John
Favreau.
Favreau, yeah.
Favreau.
Yeah. So he pretty much, there was rumors that he wasn't going to come back to direct any of this, and because Disney likes to Disneyfy, man. So God, they had too many ideas on how they want it, and he goes, "Let me direct this the way I have envisioned it." So the rumor was that they gave him free range on this season, and that's why it's so good. Do you remember the first episode? And I believe it's the first episode. I'm almost positive of the new season 3.
Yeah.
Do you remember when they're in warp speed, pretty much?
Yep.
Do you remember when Grogu looks out of the window?
The space whales.
I think they're called Purgils.
Purgils? Okay.
Yeah. And they were from the Rebels.
Yeah. Yep. The Star Wars Rebels.
So that was that's the kind of stuff that I think John brings to it. He's got this vision.
Absolutely.
And he knows there's a huge fan base out there for this.
Yeah.
So he wants to do it true. And that guy, anything that guy touches, in my opinion,
it's gold. Turns into gold immediately. Yeah.
It doesn't matter what it is he directs. I'll watch it.
Oh yeah,
that
absolutely.
Guy's a great director.
Yeah, and that little callback right there, like I didn't really know exactly because I'm still working my way through Clone Wars, and I'm gonna hit Rebels right after. But I was like, what are those? I looked it up, and it's like space whales from Star Wars Rebels, and I was like, really? Like, oh my god, yeah, through space time, yeah. And I was like, man, and there's like a whole episode on these whales too, and they, I mean, without giving too much spoilers, they end up like fighting like the big bad that we're like waiting to see. Oh yeah, they come in wreck shop, and I was like, good god,
so that was a quick nod.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
true fans,
And I was like, dude, you're doing great. Keep doing what you're doing. Then we see the armor again. Yep. I'm excited for her again, and like I personally think that we're gonna see a little bit more of her this season, only because we're back in Mandalore. Yep. We're back in Mandalore. We've touched ground. We finally touched ground.
We've swam in the mines.
We've swam in the mines. We've drank in the water. We've breathed. And I'm pumped. I'm pumped about it. As a matter of fact, I have the autograph of the armor. I'm pumped about it. We see Bo-Katan again.
Yep.
Bo-Katan is badass in my eyes.
Wielding that dark saber.
Oh yeah,
like it was paperweight,
dude. And so here's my thing, right? Like somebody was talking to me about this the other day, and they said like, "Oh well, the dark saber is hers now." It's like, hold up now, easy, take it easy.
In battle.
No, yeah, it's not hers. No, but she grabbed it. It's in her hand. No, it's not hers. No, she had, and like I got into an argument about this. I was like, it's not hers.
If I let you shoot my gun, is it yours?
Exactly.
Or are you borrowing it?
Exactly. Just because I let you exactly. Yeah. No, like there's no way, dude. And he's like, basically the argument was like Mando passed out, she grabbed the dark saber, fought with it, it's hers now. And I'm like, absolutely not. I don't know what rock you've been under. I don't know what kind of Star Wars fan you are. But
she knows the rules too. You
exactly. She knows the rules.
Because she handed it back.
She did hand it back. And that's what I was trying to drive home is I started out with that. It's like she gave it back. Yep. And this person was like, no, absolutely not. It's hers. She got it. I'm like, no, you need to go back and rewatch this episode because I don't think you... I think you missed it, buddy. I think somebody was knocking on the door and you like looked away for a second.
You might have been sleeping.
You might have been sleeping, yeah. And no, absolutely not. So the biggest thing is like we still Mando still hasn't gotten over his conflict to be able to wield the dark saber.
Because he's attached to Grogu.
He's way too attached to Grogu as like a father figure, basically. Yeah. Like that's his foundling, and he's bringing him up to be a Mandalorian, basically.
Yep.
And he's still conflicted in his mind. You know, we know the rules, and he has to let go of all like possessions and all like attachments to be able to clearly and calmly wield that saber. And he's still not there yet. Like we saw him like whip it out, open it up, and then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, I'm about to go down the
he was holding me on here apparently because that thing wouldn't come up.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, really, dude? Like, good God. And that kind of gives me like a reference. Like that means that blade is actually pretty heavy. Either heavy or it's just like the force. It's very force sensitive.
Yeah, that I'd go with that because obviously, like I said, you saw her wield it like it was
like a butter knife. Yeah, butter knife. Like nothing.
And she goal oriented as she wants to become the queen or king of Mandalore again.
Yep.
She once was. And that's what she wants again. But she has stated that they no longer followed me because I did not have the dark saber.
Exactly. And she made that very clear. They no longer follow me because I don't wield the dark saber. So she has to win it in battle. Or
how did the lure of Mandalore come?
If I remember correctly, you have to fight the mythical beast.
What's that beast's name?
The Mythosaur.
The Mythosaur, right?
The Mythosaur.
So, and what did we see the last episode? Or, sorry, the episode before?
Buddy, I think it was the last episode.
Nope,
it was episode 2. Yeah, you're right.
2.
You're absolutely
so
right.
So they confirmed that it's no longer. It's not a mythical creature.
It's not a mythical creature.
It's real.
It's a real creature, and so this is where it kind of gets like fuzzy because we only got a glimpse of it, and this is what a lot of fans are kind of like speculating.
Yeah.
When she went down to go get Mando, she went pretty deep.
Oh yeah.
And they said that in that kind of like fog and that kind of like, oh man, okay, I'm going down to get Mando. She might have like looked up and maybe like she was just like foggy of vision, and like we got like a depiction of what a mythosaur might look like.
No, those people are wrong.
Exactly.
She clearly stopped, and that thing opened its eye and looked at her.
Straight at her too. And the argument is also, why didn't the mythosaur kill Mando when it went into the water? Why didn't it kill Bo-Katan when she went in the water? And here's where I'm kind of going with this, right? So she has to wield the Darksaber in order to be the Queen of Mandalore, right? Yeah. This is kind of like where I'm like foreseeing the show going, is that we might have like a Mando Bo-Katan kind of relationship going on, and
possibly.
I'm like,
but
okay.
Here's the thing, right? Doesn't the lore say that the mythosaur will bring a new legion of new Mandalore?
Yeah.
So the fact that it's real, but she also said, but the mythosaur is a mythical creature.
It's a mythical creature.
We now know that it's not.
It's not.
So when it rises, what if you conquer it? Because isn't that how the first Mandalore came to be?
That's how the first
one of them were conquered.
Well, supposedly,
because no one knew, right?
no one saw this mythical creature. Nobody ever saw it.
So is that why she's keeping it a secret? So she goes back, conquers it, and she no longer needs the Darksaber.
Technically. But there's a lot of like, I never knew you could get into politics on Star Wars, but there's like a lot of conflict there. So like, how are you going to slay that beast, right? Like, how are you going to try and like take that beast down? Because, you know, tales of eons past when he like slayed the mythical creature, the mythosaur, you know, like how did that happen?
What if she doesn't slay it? What if she simply conquers it?
Ooh.
Throw a saddle on its back.
Ooh.
I'm just saying.
I don't know. That's gonna be a hell of a bucking bronco.
Hey, this is the way.
This is the way.
And then if she does, is she able to declare her own creed as far as you can no longer show? Because obviously she doesn't follow the same creed of you could show your face.
Well, here's the thing, right? So because they went into the living waters of Mandalore, they went down there. She didn't believe in the creed because it was just a whole bunch of fairy tales, right? Like just tales.
Yeah.
But once she saw the mythosaur down there, now it's like, wait a minute.
She's starting to believe.
These guys weren't completely crazy. These guys weren't just literally talking out of their behinds, right? They were actually telling the truth. Hold on. Like, they're legit.
There's some truth behind this story.
So now, because of that, when she comes back to the covert, the armor says like, have you removed your helmet? Have you removed your helmet since you got baptized in the living waters? She's like, no. Well, then you're part of our.
Till then, yeah.
Yeah, until then,
you're welcome
until
to stay.
You do that, you're welcome to stay. And now she's kind of like conflicted, right? Because it's like, wait a minute, these guys weren't completely lying.
Yeah,
they weren't completely like out of their minds.
Yeah,
they
weren't cuckoo.
There's a mythical creature down there, and that's like what they believe in. And now she's like conflicted, basically like, okay, what do I do now?
I got a good feeling she ain't going nowhere. We're gonna see her for the remainder of this season, which I'm all for it.
Yeah,
I'm all for it.
She even said, Katie Sackhoff herself said, like in an interview, like she didn't expect her character to be as big as it is.
Yeah,
because when she came in on the second season, when she came in on the second season, she thought that character was just gonna be like a one and done, right? Like just kind of show up in that season. It's like, all right, cool, peace out, I'm out.
Story died off.
And then it's like, nah, you're coming back. you're gonna be in this for the long haul.
And I can't speak for everyone else, but like for me, I now love this character. I like this new story, where we're going with it. I want to see more.
I want to see more.
Yep.
And that's why I kind of say, like, I've heard other people talking about this as well, where, like, you can't take off your helmet, right? The creed is that once you put the helmet on, that's it. You can't take it off unless you're by yourself in your quarters and you're eating or, whatever, you're sleeping, stuff like that.
So I am curious, what if someone's already seen your face? Are you able to remove your helmet in front of them? Because how?
Only if they're married. So, like, in the lore, once you have two Mandalorians that, like, are bound to each other and they get married and do the whole thing, that's the only time you can actually take your helmet. You can take your helmet off in front of your significant other. So that's why I kind of, like, said in the beginning, earlier, I can actually see
they might be shacking up.
There might be shacking up, and I'm like, hold on.
Because I was gonna say, like, can he not remove his helmet in front of Grogu?
No, but he did because Grogu wanted to see, and this is why he did it, because he
also had to. There was do you remember the episode with Bill Burr?
Yes. Yeah.
In order to do it, you can't walk in there.
You can't walk
with
in
his
there
helmet on.
Yeah, exactly. So he had to do it, and that's why he was, like, so conflicted. It's like, oh man, like, I took my helmet off, and, like, I'm a sinner.
I have sinned.
Have sinned. So, I'm excited to see what comes up.
Oh yeah.
Tomorrow is the next episode 4 of The Mandalorian.
Yeah. Well, I don't know when this episode's going up, but
I don't know when this is going to go up.
If it goes up before it, just know that this is where we're at by the time of this recording.
Absolutely. Well, I think we have talked about a lot. We have covered a lot.
We're caught up.
We should be caught up.
And next time you hear from us, we'll probably be doing the same thing. Thank you guys.
Until then, this is the way. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next time, guys.
Peace.
Peace.